Good. Kenny was just, we just asked him about Cam, some of the shots he hit last week toward the possession saving type shots. As a coach, when you have a guy that's hitting those kind of buckets, does that still more confidence in him that night, or if he's just kind of going off through what you guys naturally do?
A little bit of both, but I think it not only gives him confidence, it gives everybody else confidence too, because the way you put pressure trying to come from behind is getting stops and scoring. But the way you keep the pressure on if your head is by scoring. And if you score 3, then the worst you're going to do is probably tie. You know, but I think it really helps the individual, but I think it gets everybody else fired up too.
I want to ask a couple questions, one for a colleague and one for me. The first question for my colleague. How would you describe Kobe's importance to the team?
Well, he plays the point guard position. In our philosophy and our style of play, if there is one position more important than the others, it would be that one, because he's just the person that decides what offense we're running, what defense we're running. I give him some help, probably more so as a freshman than I'll do the guys who'll be juniors and seniors playing the spot. But he sets an example because he's gifted. He can score. I've loved scoring point guards. You know, Kendall Marshall wasn't necessarily a scoring point guard, whereas Ty Lawson really was. But both of them were pretty effective. So I'm not against that by any means. So I like the fact that he can score. He's okay defensively. He's going to be good defensively. He's pretty far ahead of a lot of freshmen at this stage. But no, he's extremely important to us. And
when you first started recruiting Cam, when he decided he wanted to transfer, could you envision he'd make the impact he is? Was that what you saw?
Well, I didn't have a lot of information. I just saw 6 threes against us when we played them here, and that was really the information that I had. And other people gave me some more information, but that's really the one that. So I said, well, if he can score 6 threes against us, he can score 6 against somebody else, and that was basically it. But the information that I got, and when I did visit with him and his family, I just thought he was really a neat kid. It'd be fun to have around.
Coach, have you had time to watch Kentucky at all this year? And if so, what do you see in there compared to the last time you played them in 2007?
I haven't watched hardly anything. I watched 2 or 3 possessions of their game against Utah Saturday, waiting to go out and play ourselves. I didn't watch a single possession of the Duke game when they played earlier. It seems like there was one of their games on TV right before we played. But generally for me, always it's the night before. But since we're on the plane tonight going to Chicago, I've got the Utah tape with me on the plane.
Well, Kenny is averaging about 5 assists per game. I know offseason we talked about filling the gap that Theo left. Is Kenny, have you seen him kind of take that role a little bit?
I don't know if it's that role. I don't know if he's thinking about it. I haven't said anything about it to him. I think it's just his goal of trying to be an all-around guard, an all-around basketball player. He and I are the 2 most, other than maybe his mom and dad, that want those jump shots to go in a little bit more also. But, you know, Kenny is he's the best defensive player. He's leading the team in assists. He's leading the team in drawing charges. And so his jump shot's not going in, but he gives you enough reasons to keep putting him out there as well. And just a great leader. He sets the tone for about everything with their enthusiasm. So I think he's really having a really good year. And if the jump shots start going in, I think he could go into another category as well.
Extending your contract to 2028, do you have a favorite memory with this program aside from the 3 national titles?
Oh, well. Doesn't have anything to do with the contract, I can tell you. I mean, it's something that's going to happen hopefully and maybe in the future. My association with my players is still the most fun thing to me. I mean, it's coming in the locker room after the big wins and acting a fool. I enjoy my time with them on the court and practice. I enjoy the times with them when we travel. The 3 national championships jump out at you, but just the relationships that I have with players, that'll last a lifetime too. So all those things are really good.
So you can see yourself coaching till 78. I guess is that what it'll be when you're in 2028?
Somebody sees me doing that. I don't know who, but somebody does. You know, I've said all along, several years ago, maybe 6 or 8 years ago, I said I felt like I had to coach at least 6 or 8 more years, 5 to 10 or 5 to 9, something like that. I forgot what I said. So I think I've done that, and so recently I've been saying, as long as I feel good and have my health, I enjoy what I'm doing, and I really do. It's fun. It's face some adversity, face some tough times, but that's part of life too. So for me, I was very flattered. Comments that I made, I thought we'd already released it 3 or 4 months ago. Didn't I give you those comments 3 or 4 months ago? I was surprised. I thought, what the crap's everybody talking about? I really did. So needless to say, I didn't realize it was just done yesterday, because I did give you those comments 3 or 4 months ago. So I thought it had already been done. I was just out on my golf course and missed it. But it's very flattering and a pretty neat deal, and I'm happy about it. But as long as I got my health, I'm okay.
Going off of that, Coach, how do you keep up with the younger generation? Kenny touched on a little bit that you might not know all the things that the younger generation does, but how do you stay connected with them?
Oh, I tell them I am not of their generation, and I'm happy that I am not of their generation is what I tell them a lot. What's that?
That's what Kenny said.
Yeah, I tell them a lot, because there's a lot of things their generation I don't really care for, but I just try to be myself. I love kids, I love people. You know, I've said the first day, wow, 31 years ago in the first press conference, I'll do everything I can to help you do your job, as long as you don't stop me from doing mine, and as long as you're fair. And with the kids, I tell them they're never going to work as hard as I work. I mean, if they did that, we'd really be good.
Kenny expressed some appreciation for the fact that that you actually let them make some decisions. He referenced Philadelphia about some place to go. How important is it to you to give them those opportunities to make those decisions?
Well, it's our ownership. It's not just my ownership. It's their ownership of the team as well. And I don't really know what they do all the time, like to do all the time. And so I think getting information from them, and by the time they're seniors for sure, as long as those guys have been around, I trust them unequivocally, that they'll tell me what they think is best and not what they as an individual want. They'll tell me what they think is best for the team and what they think the team would like, and I let them make decisions. You know, sometimes they're suggestions, but sometimes they're decisions, and I think that's good too.
Are there any ways you've kind of evolved or adapted or tried to change a couple of things over the years to as generations change?
Oh yeah, I used to be a wacko. I mean, I used to be a terror. I used to much more so coach out of fear that they were afraid to screw up. And sometimes I think I should go back, you know, because we might not screw it up as much. But all my former players say I've mellowed. And but I think what I've tried to do is to try to build that interest and the desire and the buying into the team, so they'll want it just as badly as I want it. But I don't know. I can still go wacko. I mean, I went wacko Monday or two, whenever it was, screaming at some guy rolling a barrel around up top. I'm trying to talk, and I got some guy up there. You know, he waits till I start talking, and he starts rolling around. It sounds like thunder, you know. And I'm screaming at him. And I turned around to him. I said, "That was really stupid, wasn't it?" But you know, so I still have my moments.
When did that change? When you said software?
Well, I think just over the years, but I really have. At first, you know, I had nothing to compare it to except Coach Smith, and I didn't want to try to be Coach Smith. You know, that's not who I am. And so what I did at that time was just coach what was comfortable, and it was demanding. And it was. I mean, I had a player I asked after a couple weeks of practice, I said, "What's the biggest challenge for you, the biggest shock to you?" And he said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Boy, the change in you when you walk out on that court." But I've been very demanding, and at that time a lot of it was that they did some things that I demanded because they were afraid what might happen. And now I've tried to get it to the point that they want it like I do. And I think they still might have a tad bit of fear, but not anything like what it used to be. But
does the term players playing for a coach mean anything to you, or is that kind of overblown? And if it's not, do you sense maybe more of that now?
Well, I want kids to care, you know, and hopefully care close to the amount that I care. I want winning to be important to them. You know, I don't know how it evolved or whatever, but I do. If they care more, they'll invest more. If they invest more, you get better results. But it wasn't a conscious change to try to do something like that. It was just that I was more comfortable. I got tired of screaming and yelling and slobbering and all that kind of stuff. But I think that with the generations, I think you have to change because the kids have changed. But deep down, I'm looking for guys that really want to win. and I find those guys a lot. And it's important to me to find guys who are willing to make sacrifices towards a common goal. As long as they understand it, we'll do everything they can to help them reach their own individual dreams and goals too. Because it's got to be two goals. I mean, they've got to know that I'm in for what their own individual dreams and goals are, and I think everybody does.
Along those lines, Coach, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received about coaching that's guided some of these philosophies?
I listen to everybody. You know, some of them goes in one ear out the other, but I do listen. But Coach Smith was best. He said, you don't have to be anybody else. You're good enough. Just be Roy Williams. Just be yourself. And for the most part, I've done that every day. I've never tried to be anybody else. But I care. And I keep going back to that. But they know I care about them. They chew their butts out. Then they walk off. And I say, you've got that math test at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Good luck. Because I do care about them.
When I asked you after the UNC Wilmington game about the practice schedule, obviously the exams were a bit of a thing you had to work around, but now at the end of the month, do you feel like you're able to get a lot done without the number of games on the schedule?
Yeah, but it's been sort of a weird schedule. I mean, we just finished this week, okay, because we had exams up until the game on Saturday, so we haven't had one of the practices. I did something I would not have done a couple of weeks ago, because most I've ever gone long in practice, probably 15 to 20 minutes, and I think it was 59 or 60 or something like that. I never would have done that if it's still been exams or class period. But you know, you're just talking about 4 or 5. Well, right now it's just today will be the 4th day, so there's not a lot. But you're getting more time, and I'm not concerned about how they're doing the exams and am I giving them time to study and that kind of thing. We're trying to make them a better basketball team, but you're still just talking about 4 days so far.
How unusual, I guess, is the schedule for December? It's been a long time that there's been this few games here, especially when, you know, league play is just around the corner.
Yeah, you know, it has been an unusual schedule, but I don't know, if you look back at it, you might have a better idea and say, well, it's not really that unusual, because we do cut back quite a bit for games during December for exams and Christmas time to go home. So it may not be as different as I think it is. I think part of it is just because we started so early and had so many games in November.
Do you like where you guys are right now, as far as you've had some ups and downs?
Yeah.
The Gonzaga game was kind of a great ceiling win, but then the Michigan game.
I hope it's not the ceiling.
Well, okay. A good indication of potential. You know, do you like where you guys are as you come through with league play right around the corner?
No. I mean, you can ask everybody sitting up here, they're going to tell you no, because they want to get better. But we've been challenged. We know a lot about our team, but I still think we've got a lot to learn about our team.
You mentioned how you all have to get better defensively. I know that would be your desire. Is that the final piece for you all to? That's the biggest.
I don't know if I'd say final, but it's not wrong. But that's the biggest spot where we have so much room for improvement. You know, we started out 0 for 5 the other night, and we hadn't shot it well all year, and then we shoot 13 for 20. I've seen some of those things in practice, so I think we can get better there as well. But there's no question that the biggest gap of where we are now and where I think we can get to is on the defensive end of the floor. That's the biggest. We've got a lot longer to go there, a lot farther to go there.
We've got 4 minutes, so make them good.
There's been a lot of excitement and hype around the football program with the return of Mac Brownlee's introduced at halftime of the Gonzaga game. I don't know if have you sensed that kind of excitement around the program with those you interact with and talk to, and what are your thoughts on?
Well, I know I'm excited at the same time, but again, that seems to indicate you're displeased with what was here before, and I was not. I loved Larry Fedora and think he was a great coach, but there is some renewed enthusiasm. I can see that. I didn't hear what Mac said Saturday night. I was a little busy, but everybody said it was great. I think that he's a proven winner. I think that we've got a lot of guys coming back, and hopefully their maturity and they'll get better, and it'll show up soon on the football field too. But no, I think he's great for the school. He's an enthusiastic guy. It just ticked me off when I realized that I was older than he was. That's what made me mad.
When you look back at the film from the other night, 27-0 on the offensive glass. I know they shot over 50%, but you guys did too. What was the difference in achieving that kind of advantage?
When people play us, there's a lot of things that you do to get ready for some team, and one of the things that people do for us is try to get back and play play better transition defense. And so one way to do that is take your guys off the board. And I think Mark's team, they made a conscious effort to not get caught trying to offensive rebound and then having to defend our fast break when we had great advantage. And so I think that one was unusual. I've never seen 27-0. But I mean, Tim Floyd's one of the best coaches I've ever coached against, and we played Iowa State. The guy that shot the ball in the 5-man with only 2 guys, they sent 3 guys back on defense all the time. So that one's, you get to pick your poison. I like to go to the board, so we may give up some things on the other end too. Teams may be able to fast break us because I like to go to the boards and get more stuff there. But you sort of, like I say, pick your poison, what you do.
You were coaching against your team, is that what you did?
Oh, I'd crash the crap out of the boards, you know, because I don't like the way we box out. Yeah, we'd have hand-to-hand combat.
What made you take the floor dive when you were out recruiting in Michigan as an assistant?
Matt Stagenga, I went to see him. I liked his coach, and he got the crowd fired up, and I said, I like that. And so next year I was the head coach at Kansas, and I told the kids we were going to do it just because I liked it. You know, as the head coach, you heard me say sometimes you get to just do what you want to do because you're the head coach. And so we've stuck with it for 31 years now. We did it my first year at Kansas. We've done it every year since.
Coach, Southern has become more aggressive the last 2 games, and even the TVs have noticed. What have you seen in the progression of Southern?
Biggest thing, and everybody thought I was making excuses for me, is healthier. I mean, he hasn't been healthy since he got here. He's still not doing the things that I've seen him do that nobody else has seen him do. And I think as long as he gets some more time and gets a little more confidence, he's still got to, don't turn the ball over and stay in front of the ball on defense, because if a point guard does that, I can play you. And those are still the 2 biggest things that he's got to do. But he's been huge for us in a couple of games. But again, I go back, yes, he's more experienced and all that, but he's healthy. He hasn't been healthy since he got here.
In what ways is Garrison kind of improving the rebound?
He's boxing out better, but the biggest thing is he's realizing you can't get any rebounds unless you go. And so he's going to the board, and sometimes they fall in his hands, and sometimes he goes and gets it. He's done a nice job in the weight room, improving his bounce, improving his strength to not let somebody box him out easily. Rebounding, you guys have heard this before too. You shoot too much, dribble too much, patch it. I never heard anybody rebounding too much. So those guys that do that really help you.
I like the best.
He's the one more stable one. He'll make fewer errors. He was the only guy. And it's just back to the question we need to go about our defense. We only had one guy qualify for the defensive award in the Gonzaga game, and that was Garrison. Nobody else even qualified, so we got a lot we can do there, but you trust him more. Anybody else?
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.